All right, boys, welcome back. Phenomenal episode today. My favorite episode is when we do previews. This was a Sheffield preview. Sheffield's a huge meet, a big draw, and we're glad we got to cover it. Got some great takes in there, a lot of insights, a lot of opinions, and I just hope y'all enjoy it. Welcome to Podium Talk.
Welcome back to another phenomenal episode, the best episode of the year. This is the Sheffield podcast. We are going to kind of look into it, see who's the best. I don't know. Training recap. Tony?
So I'm doing pretty damn good. You know, I got my week 3 SBD day tomorrow, so that should be all right. My brain is actually kind of cooked right now because of all that research we just did. But no, I'm pretty good, actually. So I'm just leave it there.
Mm-hmm. How you doing, Avery?
I fumbled a couple times this week. Nah, I mean, I definitely did fumble on squat this week. I like the broad jump at the bottom of my squats. Other than that, it was a pretty good week, I guess. On deadlift, I'm strong, but my hands will never be very strong. So I fumbled my last rep there, but we'll see what has to come up next week. So, just building. What about you, brother?
Pretty solid. I'm just going to say we should expect a huge jump out of you now that you're on the comp standard of equipment, the beautiful 20-kilo Ohio Power Bar. It's going to be phenomenal. Your squat's going to feel so good, better than it ever has. For me, we're doing pretty solid. We came from a week 4 straight into a deload, a much needed deload because we pushed it, and we're going to go into it with some fire. So yeah, let's talk about Sheffield. So obviously for everyone, Sheffield was the meet of the year last year. It was a phenomenal meet. A lot of things went down. A lot of people broke out. A lot of people showed us why they deserve to be there. What was y'all's overall opinion of Sheffield last year?
Um,
Yeah, go ahead. No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
Okay, so should I didn't even think about this, but last year, man, when I was watching Sheffield, I was definitely blown away with obviously the production. Uh, it was actually like a really fun time watching a completely raw meet with literally like the best in the world. Because sometimes you get to watch a meet like the Arnold or um CNETs or whatever, and you're watching it, you're enjoying it. But then maybe like some equipped lifter that like got in because the equipped qualifying totals are so low, like and like then there's just like people mixed in that are kind of easy to make you kind of like, I don't really care about this. But every person out there, you were like, especially the women, man, because back then I wasn't like too locked into the IPF women.
Mm-hmm.
So I was seeing those girls, man. I remember seeing Amanda Lawrence's deadlift. I was like, wow, because it was like the heaviest deadlift of all time in the IPF. It's like 592. And I was like, man, this is a crazy like showing. All the overturning, Taylor coming in and like messing up, like missing like that was crazy. Hey,
Yeah.
Zeus, all the close calls, Gavin getting the overturn, Keiko with the cool ass that cool ass little cutscene. Like it was just a movie, bro. Like no corny shit, but it was literally like it was so entertaining.
Yeah, I feel you for sure. Same thing, Avery, pretty much.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, I was about to say, Sheffield was like supposed to happen like 3 years ago, before we actually ever had the first one, and then it lived up, it lived up to every bit of its billing. It's like the hugest, big, like most large spectacle powerlifting I'd ever seen. Like, yeah, like, and I had brought it up to Tony or you or someone throughout this week of like about like the side little rant about the QTs raising, about like we kind of always love those, like a meet like that's like those pro meets or whatever, where it's just like a flight or two flights of like heavy hitting lifters. So like something like Sheffield where it's like legit one flight of the best lifters, like that's something that if you do this, you got to be watching. If you know what I'm saying. So like it's everything you wanted to see.
For sure, for sure. And like, I want to tap on one big point Tony made. Like, I feel like the female session at Sheffield really got people more locked in for the female session at Worlds. Like, I know Tony didn't care anything about the women, going into Sheffield, but then going into Worlds, he was actually paying attention. So that was good. I was glad to see Tony lock in there. But I believe
Okay,
if we do
well,
look back on our
Wow.
'cause I believe
No,
we placed bets on the Worlds, and I believe I was the best in the females, and I think Avery might have been the best in the males with his prediction. And then, that was pretty solid. But looking into it this year, I don't know if I would say I'm just equally excited because I can't get more excited, but I think we're going to see a lot more records broke by the spreadsheet we created. It just looks like a great roster. Obviously, you have a few people missing from last year, but it's going to be some tight battles and some people being overlooked. But let's dive right in, I guess, unless you'll have something else to say.
I want to say I am personally excited more for this meet just because um we like didn't know if it was gonna work last year. Like in my opinion, last year was kind of like seems kind of too good to be true, but let's just see what happens. And also last year, I think it was equally like everybody was saying we knew that Taylor was gonna come in and win. Like I think everybody kind of saw that coming, like Taylor coming in and winning. Obviously, it didn't turn out like that. But I feel like this year, like, it's just different with the history between Gavin and Keiko. Seeing if Jesus can like essentially kind of do the impossible and like destroy his own world record. The women cutting weight, Agatha cutting to 69, a three-way battle there. Like all three of them are probably going to kill the world record. There's just
Yeah.
so much on both ends, and it's like just I don't know. I think it's way more exciting this year, personally. It
well,
Yeah.
really
I
is.
just think the women generally is like a toss up. So you've really got. I mean, most people are saying like whatever you could probably just throw darts, and those are probably pretty solid predictions because no one really has a clue with the women. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
because everyone's looking in like they're in such great shape. So
And I would like to say, since Eli said I didn't care about women last year, this year I did all of the research for us. So that spreadsheet Eli was telling y'all about, I put all the numbers in that spreadsheet for the women. So I am the most educated here. I can confidently say that
I mean, I
before.
created the spreadsheet, but yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But you did do all the
But
work and you know the most. So let's kick it off. Let's start with you, Tony. Who are we like? You want to go from lightest to heaviest, or do you want to just say
yeah,
like,
talk to them, yes sir. Don't
okay, so for the girls, yeah, we can go lightest to heaviest. That makes
okay,
obviously that's
how
it
it
makes
goes?
the most sense. So I'm looking at the spreadsheet here. Um, Starting with Tiffany Chapone, she's a 47, the only 47. Honestly, I don't even know we should really talk too much there because she's gatekeeping her deadlift.
Yeah.
Um, Something that was interesting to me was she was able to bench, or she missed a 105 bench in training, but she barely missed it. Looks like she's trying to come back to retake that at Sheffield. She said that in her video.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be a pretty big meet PR for her, 105. And then her squat looks about average. So I think she can come in and realistically probably break her own record, but I just don't think it'll be enough
Yeah.
for her to be in the
Um.
conversation.
Yeah. My opinions on Tiff is like she's pushed that record so much already that it's going to be really hard for her to continue to do so. I know at the silent worker meet, she fumbled on bench, and I know at last Sheffield, she fumbled on squat, and that was like her biggest downfall, or squat, bench, and deadlift last year to get a 428. I think she's capable of breaking the record, but I don't think she's capable of breaking it enough to win the meet. So
I
I
do
don't
want to
think
say
she'll be
though,
top five.
I do obviously we all know that a huge advantage of being a super lightweight body weight though, and having the
Mhm.
lightest world record to break is it takes less kilos to like have a higher percentage, right? So based off our predictions, it looks like her training total is roughly 440. The world record is 428.5. So say maybe she made leaps on her deadlift that we didn't see.
Mhm.
well,
Maybe
yeah,
she
I was just about to say because I mean, well, like with Tiff and another woman like Evie or whatever, their best, like their world record totals are coming off at Sheffield, whereas a lot of these other world record totals are coming off of a more recent meet. So, like it's not completely wraps for them, but it's really depending on what that deadlift looks like. But yeah, those are some of like the older world records, albeit a couple of months. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. So that's another big factor. The only thing, and we're gonna get to that with 69, is that that record is just so low that it's like almost I feel like impossible for like somebody from that class to not win. But if we were looking outside of that class, I think Tiffany could play around somewhere up there in the top five, maybe. Um, Going to Evie though, I actually highly doubt she'll be able to do much. She's a 52. Her and Noemi. I actually think that Evie was the victor last year.
Her performance was just so absurd last year anyway, in
Yeah,
comparison to the old world record or whatever it was.
yeah. So the 52s last year were essentially what the 69s are now. It was just a lower world record compared to like the other classes. And Evie took advantage of that, but you can only take advantage of that one good time. Um, she went to Worlds, beat the record again, and now she would have to beat it by even more this year at a super light body weight 52. So
Yeah, well, she did a meet at 57 and totaled 484, which is like 24 keys above the record, and she weighed in at 55. So if she can carry that meet over from September, we'd be looking pretty solid, but her training's not looking as good as it was then. But still having that total is and decently recent. If she can put that up, she's still a contender for top 3, top 5.
And just
okay.
because I was curious, she matched her world record total in Malta.
Oh, she matched it. Okay.
And I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure she matched it and then like went out to her deadlift and just like bowed
Miss
to the
she
crowd, basically, right?
shook. Yeah, yeah. She didn't take
Yeah,
the
yeah.
third deadlift. Yeah, she didn't. Um, but great information. Yeah. Honestly, I don't think she's gonna win, but
Oh
she
yeah,
probably will.
yeah. I would agree. I mean, just from what I've seen most recently, she didn't look like she was going to be in shape to do something remarkable like that again. You know,
She a dog though.
And
She a
realistic,
dog.
what are
I
we
mean,
looking?
everyone here is obviously, but yeah,
Because Eli, even if she does do 484, realistically, I think she would like be needing to like do 490 plus to be in that conversation with a 69.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, I think she's top 4 probably,
okay,
in my opinion. I think
but
she'll be 4th.
yeah. She's probably definitely on the low end of that podium there, but
yeah, but that's the thing. Like I said with Jesus, like doing it's like I feel like this is a meet that it's impossible to like back to back, unless you
or
sincerely
at
want.
least it's set up to where it's not supposed to be like that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I honestly think it's like safe, to not put her in that top two, top one position. Moving on to Noemi, she's also another 52. The head-to-head battle between her and Evie continues. Whatever. Honestly, Noemi, I have her like probably realistically, probably last place. Um, there's kind of like no like nice way to say that, but I actually think that she might be the only athlete here that has a pretty low chance of getting a world record total, simply just because of the gap that it looks like Evie and her have. Um, I think honestly on all three lifts, I think Evie is beating her on all three lifts. Maybe Noemi has the squad record. Um, I'm assuming that Noemi would probably come in and try to just take the squad record and make some money. But
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
I
I
don't.
might say in this meet there are things like that. Like if you know you're not gonna like win the Sheffield or be top 3 or whatever, you can go win 5,000 or whatever it is in your country, whatever it is
Yeah,
for an individual lift that is in play. And also, yeah, if you're in worst place, I don't think being the 12th worst woman in the
Oh
world
yeah.
is a bad thing at all. So
Yeah, and her
yeah,
her squat record is only 0.5 kilos above Evie's record that she took. So even her having a squat record, Evie could come in there and smash it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it'll go back and forth on the squat there. She might be able to take it. I think that's probably all or nothing for her anyways. So, but realistically, I don't really see her really having an impact whatsoever. But it's like she's still a
Yeah, I
great
mean,
athlete.
Evie's just got like almost 20 keys on her bench there, and then also deadlifts more. So I mean, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
when you've got a competitor like that in this meet where you're trying to go gun for number one, you're definitely not like a favorite. So
And then also another thing I want to mention too is the reason that because I listened to a podcast with Evie where she kind of like broke down her like mindset going into Sheffield. A reason that Evie won Sheffield was because she wasn't worried about individual world records. She was actually going in like in that build the total mindset.
am I?
Whereas
Did Evie not cut down to the class last year?
she did, yeah, she did, but she wasn't like overextending her lifts, is what I'm saying. Um, and I think that was a huge like win for her because if I believe only like three of the women last year hit their final deadlift. Um, Evie being one of them, of course, but there were a lot of missed lifts, obviously, because everybody's trying to get a world record. So,
But yeah,
um,
nah, you broke it down there pretty well. And then
yeah,
we get into the 57s there. Break it down for us. I mean, this is a favorite of mine. You know what I'm saying? But
okay. Well, I mean, oh yeah, I'll make it quick because I'm sure you have a lot to say. But I mean,
oh no,
Natalie,
I don't really. I'm just saying I'm a big Nat Richards fan. That's all I was saying.
yeah, no, everybody loves her. I actually kind of met her at nationals. That's a funny story for another day. Uh, but Natalie Richards, one of the definitely the fan favorites. If probably not everybody, yeah, like likes her. So Natalie Richards, I have her squat looks stupid right now. She did 380 for a set of three. Honestly, it looked like she probably had another rep in her, like at a nine. Um, we saw a touch and go,
Mm-hmm.
242-pound bench, but it moved really easy, so she could definitely pause it. Um, and then we had the 500-pound deadlift, looked like a true like RPE 9 in my opinion. Um, so honestly, Natalie looks on fire right now. I think she is definitely a top three right now, a top three.
Yeah, I
And
mean, if you're taking her coach's word for it off of two white lights, if they accomplish the job, it's going to be the greatest performance from a woman powerlifter ever.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
So
and
Yeah.
honestly, yeah, honestly,
in a competition amongst them all. So
yeah, honestly, I definitely think I can see that happening, but I still think that won't be enough. Like that's
yeah,
crazy
I
to
mean,
say,
yeah,
right?
you don't have to say it before it's there. So I mean, yeah, go ahead.
I just don't
Yeah.
think it'll be enough to beat a Priscilla, Corolla, or Agatha in the 69 class, where they could potentially be breaking the world record by 40 kilos.
Yeah.
Um, so
Yeah. I
Eli,
mean,
any thoughts on Natalie?
so like you said, Nat could do something that in history is insane. It's going to be tougher to go out there and perform, but Jod is going to be right on her tail. Like we cannot not think about Jod because Nat and Jod's training are insanely close. And I mean, Nat has the pull. Nat has the heart. I would trust Nat's pull over Jod's. Like you said, the 69s, Corolla and Priscilla, that's where we're looking for the winners. And obviously, Mandalorians. But I still think Natalie could do something crazy, and I kind of just like I want to pick her to win the meet. Like I don't know, she makes me want to pick her for the meet. I believe in her. But the facts tell me Leah.
Yeah, I really like Natalie, but speaking of Jacob, sorry,
Jacob,
um,
Jacob.
Jacob, yeah. So honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a big fan of John. I really like
Mhm.
John. I actually bet on her to beat Natalie at Worlds last year. Missed that. So I'm personally not gonna bet on her again because of that. But like Eli said, her training does look phenomenal right now. The one reason I think that Natalie actually is definitely has a really good chance of beating Jod is Natalie has really probably, I think Natalie has surpassed Jod's squat at this point. Because that's what Jod has. She got the squat and the deadlift. And it looks like now Natalie has surpassed her squat and is matching her deadlift roughly. So um we have Jod here doing 391 on squat in the gym. We have her doing a 226 bench, and then we have her doing a 500 deadlift. So that's about 5 keys underneath what Natalie did in the gym. So honestly, I think Jod could come in, and honestly, who knows? She could load Red Acted on deadlift and then pull it, and then it's like, wow, like we just saw Jod make her like get her revenge on Natalie. And honestly, I think that's completely in the cards potentially. But that's not something I personally would bet on. So I do think Jod is going to be in the conversation. I just think she might overextend, and that might lead her sort of dead in the middle of the 12 people. I think that's where I put her, in the middle.
Yeah.
Anything to say about Jod?
I mean,
I don't believe so.
not.
I was just looking at I was looking at the world at the total records. I mean, at the world at the records for this splits in this class.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
I'm just not over the fact of like Jod at Worlds loading the weight to not even pull for the win and then missing it. She's gonna
Yeah,
come in
that
here
was
with a lot of dedication and a lot of motivation to beat her, but I think Natalie's just trending phenomenally.
Yeah, no, for sure. There's a lot of motivation, a lot of a lot of personal drive going on there. And I want to say that that could fuel her to just do something silly and just surprise the world, but I wouldn't count on it. I love the French women. That's why I like John. I truly do, but I don't see her beating Natalie this go around. Speaking of French women, though, we're moving on to not even arguably. I think this is hands down the best three-way battle we will see at the meet. The best weight class battle. So we have the 69-kilo weight class. So as you see, we skipped the 63s because there's no 63s at this meet. There's only 69s, and that's because a couple of these, I believe Priscilla is a 63, right? And she went up to 69. What's up, Eli?
So they've both done that. They both flopped. So Leah was 63, and the record is higher than the 69. The record for 63 is like, I don't know, like 590, 58. I want to say it's like 570-ish. And the record for 69 is lower. So that's why all of them are going up to 69.
Yep. So it's a freak thing.
The 63 record's 512.
Are you sure?
I believe
No, that's 57.
I'm looking at a Wikipedia page. It says the 57 records 512 and then the 63 records 512 of Nat.
Well, I'm gonna pull up Leah
then Natalie must have maybe.
If you want to fact check me, I mean
So
Leah's done
556 at 63. I don't know if that's the record, but she's done 556 at 63.
Yeah.
At the Arnold in England.
That's probably the record.
That's just I was looking at it right now. That's why I was confused.
So it might be a copy paste
well,
either way.
Yeah, either way, we're definitely because these women wouldn't make that decision if it wasn't the case. It is that weird scenario where the weight class above has a weird the weight class above has a lighter world record. So Priscilla is going up a weight class so she can have a better chance of beating the record.
And also, if you tuned into the KOTL, Leah and Carolla have like made a pact to face each other at the same weight class. I don't know if Agata is part of that pact. I don't know the Agata storyline. If you want to speak on that, I didn't even know she was going down.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I keep saying Priscilla. I'm sorry, Leah.
Yeah.
Leah. We're gonna get to Agatha soon for sure. That's good that you know about the storyline between Priscilla or Leah and Carolla, because I'm not too sure about that. But Priscilla, as far as her training goes, definitely got some gatekeeping going on there. But from what we were able to kind of pick apart, it looks like we see a 441-pound squat, 226 bench, 226 deadlift, 226 squat, or 6 reps from Leah. So that was a crazy set to see. That was, I think there was like a good month ago or so. So it's pretty recent. But 441 for 6 when the world record is 469.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like Leah or Corolla is going to take that squat record for sure. Most definitely. Then we have the bench. Looks like Leah, I saw her do 110 for a really hard rep. Saw her do 242 for a really hard rep. Um, and then I also saw her do 485 for a really hard rep on deadlift. Now, I think it potentially could have been a rep set, like where obviously they're doing reps with it. She just
Mm-hmm.
kind of cut the video, so I couldn't tell. Um, but we see her, obviously in the gym looking like she's healthy, putting up pretty heavy weight, even if it is for a single. So I really don't want to say, she's gonna deadlift like in the low fives, and then she ends up pulling like 530 because she's repping 485. So honestly, Leah looks like a heavy favorite. Um, and then Corolla. No one will stop talking about Corolla.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, no,
another
I think people have actually. I mean, usually Agatha gets brought up as the person who like it. I feel like kind of just hardly goes below the radar, but because of the situation, it's Corolla right now. Like everyone's, I mean, on Two White Lights, she was number one on two out of their 3 lists. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
I, that
Corolla has yeah, she has a funny story. I saw a little bit of her video, her Sheffield video, where she said she had to take like 4 years off because of COVID, I think. Of competing. She had like a weird COVID
yeah,
situation.
I mean, it was like her country was like very quick to like shut the entire nation down type of thing.
Yeah. So she's coming in obviously like hungrier than ever, um trying to win the biggest title in the world. So for her, she definitely also gate kept. We even have less information for her, but we do have her squatting a 418 pounds for 5 reps. So it's not exactly what Leah did on squat, but it's still a really good squat. I'm not really sure how that's going to transfer over to a single, but I believe that's like she's definitely like a subtotal lifter, right? Like that's her thing, the squat and bench. Right?
I'm
Oh,
not sure.
okay.
Hmm.
Okay.
Sorry, I was looking at these records on IPF.
Yeah, well, if you can look at the 69 squat record. I'm kind of curious about. I want to know who hit that.
The
But
60 spot record.
we
That's
I
should
got
69,
be
yeah, squat record.
should be Leah's 211.5.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So looks like Leah is definitely gonna win the squat battle here. But Corolla still has a great squat. And then the bench press. Corolla is really good at benching. Um, but she's just not there with Agatha yet. But we did see Corolla bench 308 for 3 with a little bit
mhm.
of room in the tank. So easily over 300-pound bench, like far probably 330 plus potentially. Uh, and then don't know her deadlift. That's the
Who
least. Yeah,
who you talking about?
Corolla Gara her deadlift. I
Her best in comp
is 240 or
20
207.
207.
Ooh,
Mhm.
I don't
Yeah, I
like
mean
that.
her squat is a chip more than than her deadlift. Yeah, raw.
Yeah. Just based off of that, I honestly think that might not be good for her. She has a great subtotal, but like a 458-pound deadlift. Wow.
Yeah.
That's
And
kind of low.
the
Yeah.
deadlift record in the 69s is 240 by Kim Walford. So, I mean,
Yeah,
Agatha might go in trying to beat that. I don't know how the cut's going to affect Agatha,
that
but
is
Well,
also, to our knowledge, the oldest record of the raw records, like being able to be broke. So
well, I mean, Corolla looks. I think like Avery said, she's definitely one of the favorites to win the whole thing. I personally don't think it's gonna be good enough because we have Leah squatting more and we have Agatha benching more, and then we have both of them deadlifting more.
Yeah, and
So
I think Leah's deadlift just kind of look comfy right now. So
yeah, so and Corolla's not the best at any of these. She's not gonna get a world record at any of these three lifts. So honestly, I think it might be a rainy day for Corolla out of the three, personally. But Agatha,
Well,
what's up?
Corolla's bench is actually pretty close to the record for the 69. She has the 63 record, and the 69 record is held by Jen Thompson, and it's 144, and she's hit 143 and a half at 63.
No, she can definitely hit over the world record, but mistake me if I'm wrong. They only get paid if you hit a world record and then somebody hits it again after you, you don't get paid for that, right?
Yes, whoever leaves the day with the record, I believe.
Yeah. So in Agata, like realistically, is probably going to open
Well,
with
it's all
right.
about the cut. We don't know how the cut's really murdering her or not, like, and how she's going to show up on the day. That's what I'm worried
Okay,
about with her.
I actually have a lot of good information about Agata. So with Agata, she did cut from 76 to 69. If you know Agata, you know she was in the crazy heated battle with Carlina and Jess Bittner, I think a few years back at Worlds, or actually this past year.
Yeah.
Um, and Agata is young. She's 21 years old. So what I heard in the podcast was she was a 76, but she got horse speed to be in that class. She actually said she felt pretty comfortable, like sitting around a 71 kilo mark. And she says she like weighs around 70 keys like right now. So she's pretty close to the weight class. So I don't think this cut is really gonna like tank her strength personally. Um, her squat is very far behind. To be honest, she looks like she squatted 418. And it was pretty hard. 418, by the way, that's what Corolla did for 5 reps. So she's pretty
Mhm.
far behind the squat. Um, bench is like, in my opinion, I think Agatha is like definitely the best female bencher in the world,
Mhm.
I would say. Her execution isn't the best. It's not, but um, she benched 153.3. What is that? That's like 370. That's like three. No, I'm sorry. That's like 337. She
Mhm.
benched that at like an RP 8.59. Definitely had room in the tank there. Like another 5 keys, in my opinion.
Yeah. And I
Um,
mean, she doesn't have the best execution, like you said. She goes 2 for 3 a lot. But her last two meets have been much better. Like she went 3 for 3 at the Girl Power meet in France and ended up with 152. So I guarantee she's trying to stay around that at a lighter weight class.
yeah,
but no, I mean, I think I think we covered the 69s pretty well, which everyone's saying is, whoever comes out of this class is probably going to be the winner. So,
Mhm.
yeah. I mean, well, another thing I want to mention about Agatha though, I was gassing her bench, but we gotta keep in consideration the elbow depth. Um, and I don't know if you remember, she was actually notorious for wearing the big shirt at Worlds, and I
mhm.
think
Yeah,
that
they
rule
don't allow
actually,
that.
yeah, they don't allow that anymore because of her. So elbow depth is a huge thing. She said she fixed it, and she says she sinks it more now because of it. But who knows? Maybe
Mm.
that throws her off. I really don't know. Also, she's probably going to get the deadlift record. Probably going to pull 235, which is about what is that? 518. If I had to guess. So honestly, we'll come back to that. I'm not going to say who I think is going to win, but Agata looks like really good in my opinion.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah. So
and then we've only got 176, which is Carlina here.
yeah, Carlina.
She
Honestly,
dog.
I mean, Yeah, Carlina, she's great. She won 76 at Worlds, beat Jess and Agatha, as we mentioned
But
earlier.
I was about to say the squat record here is hers. So
Yeah, she is a squatter. You guys will, yep, she is definitely a squatter. Um, what is it? It's 500 pounds even, I believe.
225.5.
Hmm.
225. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's about 497. Well, Agatha, no, not Agatha, I'm sorry. Carlina squatted 474 for two, looked pretty hard. But I mean her squat looks like pretty much at all time strength, in my opinion. Uh I definitely think she could take a crack at 500 plus. Uh so she wouldn't even chip the world record. She would actually, you know, probably beat it by a good 2.5 keys.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
Carlina is looking good for a squat record there. Honestly, I don't really see her winning, the whole thing, of course. Um, her bench is kind of
Yeah.
mid, I guess.
I mean,
Um,
she's just the bench and the dead, honestly, are just pretty far off from the records in those aspects. So, like, it's going to be hard for her to have the overwhelming percentage to win in the end, I think.
Hmm.
yeah,
Because
exactly.
she's looking here to probably only have the squat record and then not be too close to the bench. Because the bench record is August 153 from the year before.
Yeah, and the
Yeah,
deadlift is
Or
just
in
Bittner.
Malta. And then the deadlift record is Jessica's 261.5. And that deadlift that we had from her was pretty hard. So at
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
243. So she's just gonna be pretty far off, I think.
For
yeah.
sure, for
But
sure.
I'm confident she can take a take. I don't know if she could take the world record, honestly. Um, it'd be a really good day. I think she can, honestly, because it's her world record, I believe.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, it is her world record.
so she can possibly do it. Her training might not highlight it the best, but I always kind of just assume that if it's somebody that has a world record, they're realistically probably going to aim to come in and at least beat that because that's obviously their record.
Hmm.
So on to the 84s, Amanda Lawrence. Love
Tony's
watching
favorite
this
lifter?
lady. It's
Yeah,
actually one of my favorite lifters for sure. I think it's because her like training like numbers are like close to mine, and she's actually in my weight class. Yeah, like 84.
no, I mean it. Amanda Lawrence is like a real testing point for the maturity of a lifter because she's stronger than most junior men. And you know what I'm saying? And a lot of
Yeah,
guys don't like that. A
yeah,
lot a lot of guys won't like that, but it's the truth.
she
Like,
is yeah, she is amazing. She is strong. So seeing her do 573 in the gym, pretty tough. Don't really see much more than that. But great squat there. I have no idea what the world records are in this class, honestly. But did 281 for two. That was pretty tough. But you know, pretty all right bench, I guess. Kind of like same with Carlina, like not the best, but not the worst, I don't think. And then her deadlift is what I really like. Like I said earlier, last year hit one of the biggest no, literally the biggest female deadlift of all time on a stiff bar.
Hmm.
At Sheffield last year.
yeah,
I
268.5. What is that?
That's 592. Um, so honestly, I don't see her beating that by a lot because that deadlift was like one of those like I feel like once in a lifetime pulls. And I remember at Worlds she actually only pulled 573, I think. Uh, so I don't know, but she pulled 584 in training. So who knows? I really could be eating my words, and she could come in and hit
I was
270. What are you gonna say?
I, I'm just looking at it. I mean, you did the research on the women for the most part, right? And I mean that 260, it was like a 10, right? But I mean, if she could do around a 260, the record there is 249. So I mean, that's substantially over it. I feel like if she can then have the according day. But yeah, no, I mean, it's just tough when
Yeah, well, I actually,
she's already the pinnacle of like what we can see. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just absurd performance among absurd performance.
yeah, I'm glad you're looking at the world records, the individual ones, because I actually don't know. Like I said, I didn't know the squat world record was that low. Honestly, that's insane. She's definitely gonna beat that.
I mean, yeah,
Um,
it's hers from Malta this year or this past year. So
yeah, and she also repped 551 for two on squat. So I mean, honestly, I could see her breaking that record on the second attempt. Uh, so realistically, I think we could see the best Amanda Lawrence ever this year. Because
Hmm.
she hasn't beaten her best performance of 646 kilos since 2020, right, Avery?
Yes.
I do, yeah. No,
But
I think it would. I think in Amanda's case, it's gonna be getting as much out of her absolute strength with her squat, and then not missing. Like,
mhm.
she's got a deadlift around what she deadlifted last year, I guess you would say, but she really can't get caught trying to reach at the end there. You know what I'm saying? Because her
Mhm.
bench isn't like that bench record's also Agatha's, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you know what I'm
But
saying? So
yeah, so that 646 was in 2020, but she did put up 645 at Sheffield last year. But if Amanda can put up like a 660 performance, that gives her like a 2.4% increase on the world record. And that would put her into second in my book. But if she could do more than that, I think that would jump her to first, if I'm being honest. Like I'm looking at Amanda over the 69s, in my opinion.
I
whoa, okay.
I actually came in here not not knowing if I was gonna have Amanda in my top five, but I think she's definitely gonna be there now. I
I mean,
talked myself into it.
if she can translate that training performances we got and then increase them on the platform, like we know she can perform. But if she actually has her meet, I don't think she gets first because I got a couple other girls right there. But I think she could easily submit herself in second with some of the 69s overextending to try to reach that record.
Yeah,
Well,
just know
Eli,
I don't change my opinion very much, but I did it on this pod because I definitely didn't have her top five
well,
going coming in.
Eli. So the world record for 84 is 645.
Yep.
That's what we have here. Her best ever is 646. That wasn't obviously a world record, like it was from a while ago. How do we have her beating it by 2.5?
So
I'm confused because
if I have her like looking at her training, we got her about at a 653. Where's she at? Like a
yeah, okay,
652.
yeah, yeah.
So and
I'm
then in
seeing
my
that,
head,
yeah.
I think
Training
she's because
total.
that's with a double on bench. And I mean, those were tens as we
Yeah.
have in here. But if I like in my head give her a 660, that's a 2.2% increase on her total. So that's 1.02 points
On the 645.
on the 645.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I totally honestly I haven't been mentioning the training totals that we have here,
Yeah.
Yeah,
except for like a few. But you're right, 100%. I do think Amanda is gonna beat that world record. Um,
Mhm.
it's just that deadlift because to me, I think that deadlift is gonna be so. It's gonna be so hard to beat.
well,
Like,
no, well, that's what I'm saying is like if she can execute on the squat and then just do her thing, hit her six lifts, deadlift, like give us a third deadlift for this meet accordingly. Like she doesn't have to deadlift more, like as long as the total is what she's looking for, you know.
but I feel like realistically, at a meet like this, where you literally could make $6,000 for taking a singular world record, especially if she's gonna be close to the end of deadlifts. If she is in contention to win, she's gonna try to pull for the win. And then who knows, maybe her trying to pull for the win lands her in that fifth place spot because she missed out so much on that, final pull. Uh so I don't know. I think like it's a great like I said, she's one of my favorite athletes here. I just don't see her beating a 69, to be honest. Um, but I do trust that Joey Flex and her, like Joey, like he's good with the attempt selection. So
Well, it's
uh
also important to note that can't all of these days get ruined if they have two white lights.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and
So yeah, no, so I mean, and in this meet, 12 lifters. one attempt will absolutely ruin your day. So I mean,
Mhm.
the list better be clean.
Yeah.
I would say in
So
the yeah.
just
Go
some
ahead, Eli.
information for your head, Tony. If Amanda goes out and does the 660, like I'm just kind of throwing out of my, I'm just pulling out my back pocket, throwing a number out there. To beat her, a 69 would need to go 562. I mean, that seems reasonable. Like, I mean, you look at Agatha's again, you got to take her total with a grain of salt. It was a lot higher, but it's definitely possible. I'm just liking Amanda's chances better than like Leah going 562,
Yeah.
565 ish.
Well, no, and it's just a good thing to note is like I said, is this is all according to like Amanda is really like can do her damn thing on squat. Of course, give us what her strength is, but the
Mhm.
69s also have the disadvantage of looking at each other.
I
Yeah.
think I think we are kind of sleeping because Agatha on the podcast, I think she said on her like top end day, she's trying to get like 590.
Oh yeah, no, I know, but I mean, I'm pretty sure we could go to the page right now and at least half this roster has said like a number they're aspiring for.
Yeah,
No, no, yeah, no. I mean, you're absolutely right. Like, no one's sleeping on the 69s here. I just think I actually think more people are sleeping on Amanda Lawrence for the top end of the podium here. That's all
no,
Eli.
yeah,
That's all Eli was saying.
yeah, for
Mhm.
sure. And you can easily say that because you literally said you were like you didn't think she was going to be top five.
Mhm.
Um, I do think she'll be
No, because
potentially top five.
no,
I
I
think.
mean there could there could literally be a name that we're all sleeping on win the damn thing. Like that's how this media like there's 8 women probably that could like I like literally at the end of this we could all give our top 5 and there could all be entirely wrong. It's just how this is going to work.
Yeah. Well, let's move on. We'll move on to the 84s and then give our top five.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So for the 84s, Brittany Schlater, the world champion at 84 plus super heavyweight women. Brittany Schlater, her training is looking extremely difficult. I can't tell really anything. Uh, we saw a 600-pound squat that looked nice, looked deep. It looked like about an RP9. Like she definitely had more in the tank. I think her best squat in a meet is like 6'11" or so. Or no. Oh, it says it here. It says 619. So looks like Brittany could be on pace to, top her best squat. I think she's
Mhm.
gonna do better on bench. Her bench is looking pretty good. Got a 319 double with a little bit in the room there. And then her deadlift, I have no idea actually with her deadlift. Uh so but she's the previous world champion and she's healthy. So honestly, I do think um she has a pretty good chance of beating her previous world record of
Yeah,
693.
I guess just like we did earlier, just to note it is coming off of Malta, not Sheffield or anything. So
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. So it's a little bit more recent, but I think she could probably beat it by a couple keys. Now, how much does that matter? I don't really know because Sonita, I actually have getting her revenge and beating Brittany. Sonita lost to Brittany on the last pull. She actually didn't lock it out, but it was one of those deadlifts where like in the gym you would count it. Like it was like right there, and she missed out on the world championship because of that. Um, so honestly, and if you know Sunita, like she's about to like explode the world with her squad.
oh no, she's like not yeah, like most of the time you're looking about the world record, you're talking about, yeah, like we're gonna like chip it, like actually like on the world stage, the definition of a chip or throw two keys or whatever. She's gonna like obliterate it.
Yeah, and I think this is like she's like this is gonna be like a Ray Williams squad. I think.
Yeah, no.
So we just gonna stop teasing. She did 663 in the gym.
No, I mean I'm
Um,
actually like like this, like there's a good chance whatever she squats like if she's like on one on the day like there's a good chance it's gonna be on ESPN. I would say.
yeah, I think there's gonna be a good chance that yeah, like it's gonna be it's gonna be everywhere. So if you remember a name, honestly, like a lift at this meet for the women, it's definitely this lift, this squat. If Sonita can go 3 for 3, you know how it gets with the depth calls and the heavier people, so she can go 3 for 3
She
and
sinks them
hit.
though.
Yeah, she gets pretty down there. The angles are kind of weird. I'm not gonna lie, but
Yeah, I mean the record's hers, so there's no reason to doubt her.
yeah, but she's definitely gonna go and get a record on squat. I wholeheartedly think she's gonna squat 300 kilos. And if
Yeah,
she
and
squats, I think if she
no, go
squats
ahead.
300 kilos, I think it's 100% over. I'm gonna let you finish because I have more to say about Sonita, but I'm gonna let you finish. Go ahead.
Oh no, you continue.
Okay. Matched matched her all-time best comp PR at an 8.5 RPE, 142 points. She benched 314 in the gym, had room in the tank, so she's probably gonna beat her best bench. Pulled 240 at probably about a 9. And her best deadlift in a meet was
262.
578. But
Oh.
like I said, at Worlds, she missed 595 by a hair. Like she missed it barely.
Mhm.
So we could see the heaviest squat from a female and the heaviest deadlift of all time from a female at the same meet. Um, and honestly, if I had a bet, I'm assuming she's gonna come in, put her best foot forward. I think she's gonna have a good day. Joey Flex is her coach. Um, honestly, if she goes 9 for 9, this could be a top four. Yeah, like I can't even put her at top. Like I don't know. Like there's so many people that could be top 3, but like this could be a stupid performance. Over 700 kilo performance, which is no woman has ever done that. So,
Hmm.
um, so Anita, yeah, I don't know. What do y'all have to say?
Yeah, Tony. No, all I was gonna say is like because I mean you know you covered it really well, and because we don't really have anything to see from Brittany's deadlift, we can't really angle much there as like what's at stake, like them battling anything like that. So Sonita looks crazy strong right now, and I was about if she like yeah nah man it makes everything harder, but
Yeah, yeah, no, I think Sonita is also a favorite of mine. I think she's gonna be literally like gonna change the sport, like a stupid like all time performance. So let's get into the top fives. Eli or
who's
Avery, do you
I'm about to
guys?
say who's going first.
I mean, I guess I
I can
can because I'm not prepared.
I can go first if you guys want to take some time to think.
Well, if you
Eli
want me
said he's
to,
mad prepared, so let him rip
if
him off.
I mean, I got the chart down here. We're gonna enter them in live. If you want me to give you just a little bit of information about numbers and how they translate to percentages, I'll go first.
Go ahead,
So
brother. I
I'm
love
actually
it.
like, I've been over here calculating, and I'm just gonna throw numbers again out of my back pocket. These are wild numbers, and I'm kind of giving Nat a lot of room here, Natalie, because I really want her to be top 3. So I've given her a lot of room here. So I got
Okay.
Leah at the top now. If she can do
Yeah.
572 and a half, that's like 1.04. So that's 4% increase. And that would win it, no doubt. If she can do that. I don't think Agatha can keep up with that. And I think Leah's a menace. And then I look to Nat and I'm saying if Nat could do 527, that puts her in second. And then I'm going to go back to Agatha for third, and then Amanda, and then Jad. So I'm going to Leah, Nat, Agatha, Amanda, Jad. That final, put it in.
Bro, I'm not predicting totals. Of course, you try to like just give us the placements, Eli. You're trying to make me
Well,
look
no, I'm just
inferior.
helping y'all out with scoring. All right. That's how scoring is. And if they hit those numbers, that's how it's scored.
I'm not gonna lie, like you just fucked me up with all those numbers. So that didn't help me like at all. Like honestly, like, but it's honestly I didn't want you to like influence me with my decision anyways. So I'm just gonna go ahead and throw out mine. Can I
All
do
right.
that?
Yeah.
So, oh, bro, this is actually an impossible.
Let's say,
Like
are you typing
impossible.
it in? Are you typing it in?
I'll type it in
I
while you talk.
Okay.
This isn't an impossible like thing to guess,
Yeah.
honestly. But I would have to say I do believe top five. I think all of the 69s are probably going to be in the top five. Um, Honestly, I'd probably put like Corolla at like fifth. I think I'd put probably Sonita at four. Probably like I actually it's impossible to guess, dude. I think maybe like honestly, maybe like Amanda, Sonita, Amanda five, Sonita, um, Natalie Richards, da, da, da.
You're
You're naming
making
like eight.
Eli's
You're naming
job
like
so
eight.
hard.
Nat.
He's trying to type it live and you keep changing your mind.
All right,
Wait,
Tony,
wait, wait,
there's
wait.
5 spots and you've named 8 people.
Okay, no, no, no. So Amanda at five, Sonita at four. This is literally like an impossible thing, I feel like, to like, but Natalie at three.
That means you got to kill one of the 69s.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I think it's gonna be Agatha and then Leah.
Leah on top.
Yes.
All right, that's valid. That's valid for sure. That
Um.
means Corolla is out.
Honestly, I don't.
I personally don't like your Sonita selection, but to preface, we have all of these chicks hitting world records except Noemi because Evie Corrigan's a dog. So we're not saying any of these people are trash. They're all going to break records. They're all phenomenal lifters. These guys are just above the rest.
Okay,
Yeah.
and Eli, you got me here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, actually, let me think about it how I want to reveal it. Since Tony started going from the 5 spot, how I want to reveal it.
Start from the 3, and then go 4 to then 2, then 5, then 1.
Oh, are you serious?
No, do what you want. Do what you want. I don't care.
Okay. Let me type it out. Let me type it out so I can actually tell you.
Yeah, you good. Me and Tony will talk. Yeah, I mean, I just don't see Sonita getting that big of a percentage to beat Amanda, but it's definitely possible, especially if Amanda's fumbling her deadlift. But Sonita would have to really, perform. As far as Leah on top, I agree with you that she's a dog. You got Nat in there. Your list isn't bad, Tony, but I
I
just feel like
think.
mine's better.
I think Sonita is about to have the heaviest deadlift of a female of all time. So I think it'd be stupid to not put her in the top five because literally she's gonna pull last. So she'll be able to. I don't think she's just gonna choose like, and bro, she's gonna squat 661.
Same thing.
Like
But you also got to think about heavyweights, not heavyweight women, heavyweights in general. Travel is a huge factor. All right. Huge, insane. I know it's not a huge travel for her because I forget where she's from, but she's from Europe, I'm
All
pretty
right.
sure.
All right, Eli. Eli, I got you at the 5 spot. I'm gonna slide Evie in.
She a dog.
At 4, I'm gonna go Amanda.
She a dog.
At 3, I got Agatha.
She a dog.
2, I got Leah.
wow, no shots.
And 1, I'm riding the PR's performance hype train. I'm going
Yes,
with that.
sir!
I'm going with that.
We'll talk about
Listen,
that.
guys.
I mean that, and you know what? Once again, if I'm wrong, I'll gladly just take the bullet as a fanboy.
I mean, that's
But
valid for sure. But just to preface that, she's got to go like 530 plus ish to get that.
hey, I don't care, bro. Conquer the
I'm just,
world.
I'm just throwing that out there, man. I mean, I still like. Again, you cannot be wrong on this list because you're gonna be wrong on this list because they're all so good and they're all so tight. And Sheffield scored by records. It's like a scoring system that's gonna literally decimal places will decide the winner. It's gonna be that close.
Yeah,
But
no, I was actually like going back and forth on like if I wanted Agata or maybe Corolla on there.
yeah. But before we leave this, I want to get Tony. So you're saying Sonita's gonna blow it up. What do you think she could total? Like, give me her numbers of what you think she'll hit, and let me just calculate that because I just don't see it.
Okay, I'm not
No
gonna say
hate.
something stupid, so I'm gonna calculate too. So I'm just gonna put like a 300, a clean 300.
Valid.
And I'm gonna put
Like a one 150 bench, 147.
I was gonna say honestly a 150. Fuck it. If it's Sheffield, we got to go all out.
Yeah. I mean, this is like the highest because you're not predicting their low end, you're predicting their potential at the
I
end of the
think we
day.
could see a 720 kilo perfect day from Sonita.
And what is that?
And
What is that her deadlifting?
270.
That is actually crazy. And divided by what's the record? 693. So I mean that could do it. If she does that, the only person that I have could beat her would be Leah going 572.
Well, I think what we're okay. Maybe I okay.
I mean, that's valid.
Maybe I
That's
was a little
1.03%. It's valid.
maybe I was a little harsh on Natalie because I do think Natalie is gonna go in and 100% hit 9 for 9 lifts, and that's gonna be really good for her. But if like you said, bro, like one of these people miss, I honestly think that Amanda, like of anybody on this list, I don't know. I actually don't know. It could be Amanda or Sonita. I think the top three are probably gonna hit their
Yeah. I feel like
most of
all
their
of us
lifts.
trust I feel like all of us trust Leah and Nat the most. Like Agatha, her bench could be an issue. And honestly, her deadlift could be an issue. But I feel like Leah and Nat are the most consistent on this list. And that's why we have all of us have Leah top two.
Yeah, and I have Leah at 1 because Leah just I feel like she has like such a like good story too. Like she's been hurt for so long, been out of it, made this weight change because obviously it like benefits her like a huge amount. And she literally has to all she has to do is hit a total that she already has hit at a lighter body weight or has
Yeah.
hit close to. So
I've been broke so many times.
Yeah, bro.
I don't know
I
what to
just
believe.
love a good story. So
I don't know. I personally don't want to see Natalie win. Maybe I'm hating. I don't want to see Natalie win.
you are a hater, brother.
We,
That's not
we
American of you.
all want to see Natalie win, but Leah is a dog. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm gonna say. She a dog. All right.
Okay.
Y'all want to transition to men?
Yeah, go ahead, brother, because you're getting excited over there.
Well, I'm just like moving around a lot so I can stay awake.
Yeah, no, I'm getting
Ultimately,
tired too, so we might as well.
yeah.
Man,
Uh,
y'all
So
are weak, bro. Come on now.
shut
okay.
up, Tony. All
Well,
right.
because we're weak, Tony, you want to start us off?
Yeah.
What do I know about the guys? I didn't. Okay. So,
I don't know. You like them. God.
whoa, that was a good one, bro. Anyways.
Not a good one.
Anyways, starting it off with Avery's favorite, Pana. So, Pana,
Eli's favorite.
yeah, no, I just was just saying a name. I don't even care about I don't know. I'm not the biggest Pana fan, but Pana's looking really good actually.
Mhm.
Training wise, recently hit a 573 squat, which is fat at a 66, a 144-pound man hit a 573 squat. That is huge. Uh, so that's huge. On to bench, he benched 396. Fat.
Oh, no.
Deadlifted
Go ahead.
deadlifted 640. Fat. That's a 730 kilo training total.
Mhm. I mean, put out there, obviously, his RPE scale is different than everyone else's, so it's hard for us to tell what it actually is, but it looked hard as crap. And it doesn't look like that total can fully be emulated onto the platform, but you never know Pana, and you never know how motivated he is. But I think he's got the 66s, and I think he'll leave the day with a record.
Oh yeah, actually, I completely forgot, Tony. When I said it over there, I forgot that I thought we were going straight into our rankings for some reason. We hadn't talked about the men at all. I forgot. But yeah, no, Eli, continue on with us here.
Yeah, I mean, Kyoto, I'm not the biggest Kyoto guy. I know Tony was excited to see him. I love seeing his deadlift. He's going for a 180 bench. He said that publicly. His squat is gate kept, so unfortunately we can't do too much with that. I just don't think he's got Pana in this. I think he's always the guy that's right there at the meet. You see him on the roster, you get excited to see him, and he does pretty decent, but at somewhere in the performance he fumbles the bag. Somewhere he misses a
Well,
deadlift, misses a squat.
everyone would just always argue that it's usually like it's not he's not fumbling on the platform. It's usually like bad decisions being made somewhere. But no, I mean, for as strong as Pana is, Kyoto is up there and can get things done if it gets done, you know. So
Mhm.
and then on to everyone's favorite lifter this for beating the GOAT, right?
Boy wonder, man, Callie Johansson. So I'd love to talk about this because I've been studying him for a while now. We've seen a 163-pound man squat 606 pounds. Really good squat, really deep. It was hard, but honestly, I don't know. I think he could have more on the platform. Um, we have seen him bench, I believe, for a single. A few months ago, I saw him bench 402 for a single. But recently, we saw a 353 for six. So honestly,
I mean, that sounds right in range for what you just
yeah,
said.
exactly. We're gonna see a 400-pound bench from the man. And then the deadlift Miyagi himself, we saw him pull 749 in training a good amount of
Absurd.
time ago. Um, which comes out to only a 775 training total, but that is with a set of six. So um, I
Cash
see
money
him.
there. Yeah.
Mhm. If you
Am I
put
cutting
that
out?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, you've been cutting out here and there, but yeah, you're good.
if you
You're
put
good.
that 192 bench we saw back in the past, it puts him at an 807 training total. So I mean that would be
Yeah.
breaking the
So
record, which is at 800 because of Shell Buckland at Euros.
yeah. So honestly, one
and
of my
he's a part of uh the big body fam or not big body
no
but
Joey
flex, but
Flex. Yeah, Flex. No, yeah,
I
Flex. Um, but we've got yeah, Cali doing over 800. That's a world record. I 100% wholeheartedly believe he's going to hit over 800. And I also believe Tim Monagatti is going to also do the same. Um, this is where it gets interesting for me. Haven't seen much on his bench. We know he's the squat world record guy. He's the squatter. He squatted 633 in training, which is 5 pounds over his previous world record in training. So
Mm-hmm.
already beating world records in training. Same with his deadlift, 760 in training, already over a world record. We've got a 817.5 training total potentially.
That's if he matches his current bench, not if he improves it with the training total. So
Yes. So if we see a matched bench press, we could see an roughly 820. I believe he's going to squat more than 633.
well
I think six.
that 185 that you've got down for Monagatti there is when he was at 83.
Okay. Great. Yeah.
He has not
okay,
benched more than 170 as a 74. He's tried 172, but
so that
yeah.
would be 802, which still he could increase it.
I will say I heard on a podcast with Tim Monagatti because he's also one of my favorite lifters here. Um, he did say that his bench was horrible at Worlds for whatever reason. I can't remember what the reason was. So who knows? Maybe he shows up and has another 5 to 7.5 keys there. I personally, between him and Cali, I think it could go Tim, bro. I think.
Well, let's see. Ah,
It's going to come down to the
man,
pool for sure. I mean, it's just
it is. But if I, th- I think Kylie might be able to push it out of range with his bench, maybe. You know,
mm-hmm.
but
Well,
yeah,
look
but
about.
no, but if Callie doesn't, or if something goes wrong there potentially, like back cramping, anything, he's taking some keys off, then absolutely, because that 345 from Tim was like I don't see him missing it, to be honest. You know, like it had to be because of some competition like a long day type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Avery, Tim. I think the gap between Tim's squat and Cali's squat and then their benches, I think the gap is bigger on the squat, personally. Uh I think Tim could stay in range of Cali. I'm not gonna say he could bench 400 pounds because I don't think he could do that, but I do think he could be in the 380 conversation, personally. Uh and I don't see Cali squatting 25 pounds to 10 kilos within.
No, I mean y'all are right. He just hasn't went above 285 as a 74. I don't believe.
Who, Tim? On squad?
Well, no, it messed up. It was the meet after this. It's doing a thing where it's pulling up separate ones.
I got you.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah,
see the two. I see the 283 and 285 now.
yeah, man. Tim, he's definitely going to be something to look for. Another world record we're going to see here, I think, 100%. On to Delaney Wallace. Not much to say here. Obviously,
Jeez,
Chase,
dude.
chasing.
It's 83 beef, bro. It's okay.
Yeah.
We're seeing another man chase the all-time 841 world record by Russell Orhii. Delaney Wallace, I think he's been like plagued with a adductor injury for like a year now.
Yeah.
So I don't see him having a chance.
So I mean, our biggest thing about counting Delaney out is that we don't know anything about his squat or
Anything
deadlift.
we actually could probably just roll right on past him because I don't like the only thing we saw is bench and it was easy. Like it was probably an 8 or something,
Yeah.
you know.
And just like if he wanted to win, he would need a total like 866 to beat these other guys. Just a little preface there, and we don't know anything about it. So
We can't speculate.
Other than what our hearts desire, I don't think he's gonna break it. I think he might get close. I think he's gonna shoot for it. Depending on how healthy he is, no clue. But wish him the best.
And then two, the deepest class of the meet, 93s. Let's not even start with John. Let's start with Carlos Peter Griffith.
Okay.
Well, it is gate kept. His bench is not as competitive as the top of these fields, so we don't have to talk much about his bench.
It's not as
competitive.
It's only competitive in the 66 kilo class. Is all I'm going to say about that.
Well, there you go. I don't know, but they said with his squat he's supposed to be up there with Gavin. So I'm sure all the Burn Your Ships fanboys do not want to see Gavin Aiden go back home without the world record. So, but his squad is supposedly up there, and there's the video. He's done a 365 double, which is only seven keys below Chance Mitchell's world record. So, pretty strong guy, but we don't think he's going to be the winner of the 2024 Sheffield or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. To also say we saw an 804 double from him. It was on I don't believe it was a power bar, and it was also on bumpers, pound plates, a crazy setup.
Then again, it is conventional, which a bendy bar can hurt you on conventional, but I mean that bar was a noodle. Like, I mean, it's not his fault that he doesn't have comp equip with him because I mean,
yeah, I was about to say like in this guy's case, he's literally got to work with what he's got to work with. I'm sure, but
yeah. So honestly, with that being said, I don't see him being able to replicate. I just don't think that comp specificity. Like I don't think it's gonna carry. I don't think he's gonna be strong enough to be with a guy like John Keiko, who's literally nicknamed Mr. Perfect. So I honestly don't see Carlos having a chance of breaking the 888 world record. He's from Uruguay, by the way. Like he's actually probably the least known person in this whole list. So guy from Uruguay, from South America.
Yeah, no, dude doesn't have 2,000 followers, so
yeah. So yeah, he caught a wild card invitation off of the regional selection. So I think he's almost only here as like a scapegoat. Am I even using that properly?
Yeah. It's not a scapegoat, but I mean he's a regional he represents South America.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the big thing with him is like his last meet, he only totaled 847, but he missed his third squat at 332, and he missed his third dead at 365. So those are some big totals jumps that he'll take. I think to transition us to more of a better lifter, Gavin. I think Gavin's going to take the record on his second, Then Carlos is going to take it on his third, and then Gavin's going to load something even crazier to take it for the final time.
Yeah, what I was about to say is we don't know as much about Carlos's squat, but we know Gavin is definitely strong enough for the world record. He's been strong enough for that
Mhm.
squat world record for 2 years now.
Yeah.
So no, I mean, as long as and it looks like Gavin's healthy or whatever, he's not showing the most to us, but yeah, no, Eli's got a good point there. I mean, it really comes down to lot number and everything and how that'll play out, but you'll have to see with the squat world record. And then, and then getting into the more competitive field in the 93, I guess, is Gustav's always strong, always super strong. It's feels like you don't do him much justice because he gets left out because there's so many good 93s because, there's guys like Chance Mitchell who has the deadlift world record or whatever. There's been so many good 93 lifters because 83, 93 is where you start to see more guys usually anyway.
Mhm.
But we don't know much about Gustav's bench, and he hit a 312 squat recently, which is like 7 keys below his best, and a pretty comfy 340 deadlift in the last while, and his best is 345. So I think he should easily go over there, but I just don't, bar for bar, pound for pound, I just don't think Gustav's going to be able to go with Keiko or Gavin once they get rolling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think an interesting thing about Gustav is out of all the 24 lifters that are coming at this meet, I think Gustav has the highest chances of leaving this meet without a single dollar. Um, because he is just like you said in such an insanely deep class where we have a crazy deadlifter, Chance Mitchell. We have a stupid, like a crazy bencher, Jonathan Keiko, and then we have multiple crazy squatters, Carlos, Peter
Mhm.
Griffith, and Gavin Aiden.
Yeah.
Gustav doesn't have a world record to his name. Doesn't really have a shot at beating Keiko or Jonathan to get the total record. So honestly, I think he might be a huge unfortunately one of those guys that just you kind of
Yeah,
glaze
it's
over.
yeah, it's just tough because he's most likely not doesn't have a chance of leaving with a squat or world record, and Keiko's literally right there for the bench. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
So Keiko's going to take a bench record. Carlos, Gavin are going to take the squat record. The deadlift record is 373.
I just don't, and no one's getting that. I don't believe, unless
I mean,
Carlos does.
if Carlos shows up and that 365 for two from the non-comp equipment carries over, it's possible, but I don't think that conventional will hold up
But
like that.
no, either way, I first off, it's Sheffield. We're all rooting for him to break Chance's record, unless if we're not, it's because of America, right? But like you said, earlier, Eli, like his bench just isn't going to hold him to
Mhm.
overall being competitive. So he's like Carlos is going it. In my opinion, Carlos is probably going in there to squat that world record and then pull that world record if it's there on the day. Like
Mhm.
that's what he's doing. Go ahead,
I
Tony.
will say, if we're comparing Carlos to a Chance Mitchell's bench was easily a horrible, also competitive as a 66. And Chance
Well,
Mitchell also won a world title on a 6 for 9 day.
we're just talking about the Sheffield here, though.
Yeah, of course, but still, that was an 885, I believe, total that Chance had. So if Carlos, say if he was that guy and took a squat record and a deadlift record, we could see an over 890 total. But
I mean,
I don't believe he's not gonna do that. So
to be fair, Chance's bench is like 20 kilos heavier. I know
is
that's
is
not a
that
lot.
much heavier?
His is 192. His best
And Carlos is
172.
Carlos.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. No, that's why I was saying like, fuck it,
but the
bro.
squat, but the squat,
Yeah,
Yeah, I
squat
what
mean,
difference. Yeah,
what did Chance squat that day? I forgot.
694.
315.
Yep.
All right. Well,
So
yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
no, that
but
covers the 93. I mean, it'll be hella fun. I mean,
mhm.
does
Gavin.
it cover that? We didn't even talk about Gavin. I mean, if you don't want to talk about
Oh no!
them,
Oh no! I didn't even think we. I
Yeah.
thought we did. I think about it in my head. I guess.
I mean, all we really need to say about Gavin is, can he hit his squats? And then my only question is, in the 93s, how many people do y'all see hitting 900?
Two. Me personally, I believe that.
Two? Gavin and Keiko?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, I mean, I think that first off, those guys are the only ones probably strong enough. Like we just established, it's gonna be hard for Carlos to get up to 890. And other than that, I mean, it'd be insane for these other guys to throw that kind of stuff on there.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I
and
just want
what's
to preface this.
Carlos's best is 847. You know that like throwing on 50 keys at Sheffield would be absurd.
Well, if you give him,
Yeah.
let's just say you give him a 370 deadlift, a 332 squat that he attempted and missed, and they give him the same bench, 172 and a half, that's only 874. And that's a world record squat and just shy of the world record deadlift. So, I mean, I don't see him being in contention at all. But I will tell you on the calculations, a 900 total for 93 isn't winning this meet. And it might not even be top three. I'm just going to say that before we get to the end. But onto it, 105. Unless you want to talk more about Keiko.
Now we can go to 105. Anatoly Novopismeni said that perfectly. Anatoly went to war. I believe he sustained some sort of injury. We know nothing about him. We actually know least about him out of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
We know nothing. So
I know something.
Okay.
So took a long break off because the Ukraine stuff, couldn't go to Worlds, had to take like 2 years off, 3 years off, however long. Then he does this meet to qualify for Nats where he puts up his best total, which, I mean, what is it here? 940. So he put that up in the meet before Worlds. And I believe he went to Worlds and hit like 937 to win the class. I don't know. I forget if he like sandbagged and just hit that. I believe everything was pretty light. But no lifts, we don't know what he's doing. I'm in my back pocket. I'm saying 960 is a number I could see him hitting, just knowing his strength. And with that number, that's a 20 key total increase. And, that's what, 2.1%. So I definitely think he's in contention for this. We just know nothing. So we're all just like, I'm pulling it out of the air. Don't trust me. I just have
No,
beliefs.
I mean, you're right, man. I remember I bet on Anatoly at Worlds, and he showed up and did his thing. I think Anatoly is a great rival for Ash Cheruska because he's just like one of those military macho men that just are gonna show up and do their damn job. So honestly, I think it'd be silly to assume that Anatoly is gonna come up here and do anything less than what we have here. And at one point, I actually do remember at one point, I heard that his deadlift was coming around. So honestly, I do think Anatoly is a huge sleeper for that top three.
I mean,
Actually,
if he's made substantial progress on his deadlift, there'd be no reason not to put him top three. So I mean, alone.
yeah, I heard that's what I heard because I remember at one point everybody was like, "Oh, his deadlift is him and Ash." Because at one point him and Ash were having that little banter, and they were like, "Yeah, Ash just kills him on deadlift." And then somebody said that they heard that Anatoly had kind of clicked, figured something out with his deadlift. Um, So, but at the same time, I heard somewhere that I thought he had kind of got injured. It's all rumors. So honestly, but all I know is this is a grown, like this is a man. Like this dude, a man, he squats 800 plus, deadlifts 800 and benches 500. Like, gonna be tough to beat the guy. So, um, I think he's gonna be a top three candidate.
I agree. And then we can jump right over Tony Cliff. Tony Cliff just has a very hard record
No
to beat.
disrespect to Tony Cliff. He's just
I mean,
he's
he
just
knows
going
it.
against that Dennis Cornelius record, and that man lifts weights in his garage in his bare feet. So you can't really beat that.
Tony's objectives here are not to beat the record. It's to show that he's at least a candidate to face Rondell Hunt and Devin Williams. Like he just
Bob
wants to say,
Masvidal.
"Hey, and Bob." But He just
Yeah,
wants
for
to come in
sure.
here and say, "Hey, I'm at least still in the game. I'm not too old for this."
Yeah,
I believe that's his
all
overall
those
goal.
guys are looking right over him, and
Mhm.
We can see a bench record from him, right? Or
I can check.
the record is 253.
we can see a bench record from him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what he's going for, actually.
Yep. One of the few guys that I also think probably have zero chance of beating the world record total. So
Yeah,
on to
yeah. Sorry.
Jesus Oliveras, man. Yeah. So
So I just want to, Tony, give me the day you think Jesus is going to have. Give me what do you think he can do?
okay, so I'm a big Jesus fan ever since ever since before Sheffield last year when he was making those Yeet edits and he was squatting like 1,000 pounds to like talk guitar remix. Like I've been a fan since. So I've been studying his stuff. He squatted right under 1050. He squatted 475 keys. That's actually I don't think that's just a world record.
It's just under the world record. The world record is 477.5.
I don't know if he's gonna stretch for that. I will say we saw I believe that 475 honestly was not the hardest squat I've ever seen him do.
No, I think he's absolutely got the 477.5 here. I don't, yeah, I think that'll be one he's like definitely, if the strength's there on the day, like we're just chipping, like we just want it.
I also remember him mentioning that he's in no rush with his squat because he wants to save energy for his deadlift because like ultimately he is like a deadlifter,
Now,
really.
I was about to say the reason I personally love Jesus and the reason I always sing his praises is he's the biggest, best deadlifter to ever walk the planet. Like you know what I'm saying? Like he's the when it comes to guys that are abnormally fucking big, he's the best at picking shit up off the ground. Like
Yeah.
there's no other way to put it.
Yep. So before we get to the deadlift bench, we've seen him bench 617 from a few months ago. He said himself that he wants to match that because obviously that's his best bench ever. That's not even a world record though, but still a 617 bench is crazy for a squat deadlift specialist. Um, so we can see honestly that might be a little crazy. I could see a 611. Maybe a 611 bench, maybe a like a 1038, like a 470 squat. And then honestly, he's probably gonna pull whatever he needs, right? So we sure as hell could see a 430 kilo deadlift, 431 kilos to be exact, because he pulled that in training, and that equates to 950 pounds. So we could see a 950-pound deadlift for the win, for everything. Um, he did it last year. He took 910 last year. Super close, like had to get it overturned. It like came in red, got it overturned by the jury. If his grip holds up and he can squeeze his quads and lock his knees, he can pick anything up. So I see Jesus at what did I say? I think that's about an 1180 kilo total, which would
Mm-hmm.
be 27.5 kilos over the world record.
And
One
1.0.
1.023 or 24.
Maybe even more. That was like me shaving a little bit off of his bench
So,
and squat just because it's Sheffield.
I mean, so on my pad, I got him top in 1187, and that's 1.0308. And I think that's exactly what he'll need to win. I don't think
Yeah.
anything less than that will be sufficient. So I think he's going to
Okay.
load
Yeah.
that because
So
that's what it takes. But the thing that worries me
1180
about
plus. Yep.
Jesus, as I've talked before, he got a lot of jury calls last year. I just don't know if those are going to give. I mean, being a bigger lifter is tough, and you have different leverages and different, it's hard to see depth. He hits depth, But those referees like to give you a red light just in case, and then send it to the jury. Anything can happen. And I feel like putting my trust in that is too risky. So I don't know if I'm
Yeah,
going to have him win this
I
meet.
think. Okay, so you have Pana like fighting him, right? Like
Yeah.
contesting him.
So I just did the math. To win, like to beat that 1187 that that Eli said, Hana would actually he need 2 keys over that training total. And I don't that's probably not very I don't know. Like
Yeah, I was
I've got Pana high up there
okay.
too, I believe, but out of like sportsmen and like for the love of the game, god damn it. You know?
No, man. I mean, if we're putting Pana versus Jesus Oliveras, I think you're insane to bet against Jesus. If you
Well,
look at Pana's meet history,
I mean,
look at
no,
Pana's meet, look at Pana's meet history. His training total is great. Like 730 is great. Spot 260 squat is great. He's not hitting that on the platform. He is not hitting a 573 squat. I will put my car on that. He is not hitting that on the platform. I think we could see Jesus take the world record before we saw Pana take 573 personally.
Okay, so
And
I'm
then
not saying Pana. I'm not saying Pana. I got Pana in the 4. All right. I'm saying if one of these 75s or both can be around 822, they beat Jesus Oliveras. 822 beats Jesus Oliveras unless he goes 1187.
yeah, no, I was just saying because that Pon is one of the only guys we have like a full total out of what we've seen kind of recently, and his training total popped off. Like numerically is that's why I brought him up. But yeah,
And all of his stuff is RPE 12, and we don't really
yeah,
see anything of that from
yeah. No,
anybody else. We see him
no,
has.
I acknowledged you wouldn't bet on it, but that's just we're betting on these guys coming in here and smoking some weight. You know what I'm saying? So we're thinking about that potentials.
yeah, man, I think we're gonna see who the real athletes are, and I'm like I like my top five. It's like it's crazy. So let's get into the top fives. Let's not even explain anything right now. Let's just get
Well,
into the top five.
I'm gonna say Eli's typing his down. So
I got to get them calculations, boy. All right. If you want me to go first, so I give you the numbers and everyone's going to be really confused before they go.
You can go ahead and go, man.
All right. So I'm going to start from the 5. Anatoly, we don't know much about him, but if he comes in and hits that 960, I got him there. I don't think that's where he'll be realistically, because again, with no clue about anything he's going, I'm gonna give him like 952.5. I have no clue what he's gonna do. I don't know if he's gonna try to just chip records, make some money, go home, or if he's gonna shoot for the win. I think he's capable of all that. I think he's could be top 5, could not. So he's on that 5, iffy in and out. I'm gonna go to Pana in the 4, saying he gets around 727. He's the king of the grind. He will load something and sit there for 10 minutes trying to grind it up. If he can hit 727, I got him in the 4. And then I'm gonna go to Calais, Carl. So my 75 battle, I'm gonna pick Tim Monagatti to take the day at 822, but Calais, Carl's gonna go 817 in my head, and that's gonna put him below Jesus in the 2 at 1175. I don't think Jesus goes 9 for 9. I think he misses some weight, and that's gonna drop him down to 2. And then Tim Monagatti goes from the 83s to the 75s, shows up and wins Sheffield. The storyline is phenomenal. That's all I'm going to say. On to you.
Avery, go first.
all right, fuck.
Yeah, I can keep talking if y'all want.
I know y'all just talk. I'm
Avery, no, no, no.
typing
Yeah,
Okay,
it
you
I
in.
can
good?
go. Okay, I can go. Hold on.
No, let me
I
just
was
ask you,
I was
Tony. How do
typing
you
it out
feel
so I
about
could
that?
do it backwards again.
How do you feel about Tim
Okay,
Monagatti winning Sheffield?
Me?
Both of you.
hold on.
I'm not gonna bet on it.
This is hold on. So Anatoly 940 is the world record.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. This is crazy. Okay, so, okay, this is gonna suck. This is gonna suck.
It's so tight. It's so tight.
Okay,
I
I
know.
got
I'm
mine.
gonna,
I got mine,
okay.
Eli.
I got mine. Or
All right,
okay,
Eli.
here we go.
At 5. I'm gonna put Tim.
Oh.
Whoa, that's crazy.
At 4,
Okay,
at 4. I'm gonna put Anatoly. At 3, I'm gonna put Panna. At 2, I'm putting Carl. And at 1, I'm
Okay.
putting Jesus.
I don't mind that list. I don't mind that
I
list.
think
A
I
missed
like
list.
my list. I like my list personally.
Yeah. I mean, you're putting your trust in the former winner, the heaviest guy to ever do a lot of the things he does.
Oh yeah. No, it's not a controversial pick. I just, I don't know. I think around where we've got Jesus is like around the 1.03. I think, I think most of these people are going to be stretching to beat it. So,
Let's go to
and
Tony and let's wrap this
I'm
up.
gonna take Carl over Tim. I don't think Tim's squat is where it was as an 83, like the absolute high range. So I'm gonna put Carl with a package to beat Tim. And I put Panna at 3, hoping he hits the numbers
So,
that he can.
mhm.
And then and Anatoly, I'm gonna just trust that he's Anatoly.
Yeah, he's Anatoly.
If he may, especially if he's made progress on his deadlift, and then he can just put up a better total than he did last time, he's in good shape. Yeah, no Tim shade. I just got Tim at 5.
Yeah, it's a good
this
list. Let's
is
go. Let's go to Tony and we can wrap this thing up.
damn rushing the hell out of me. Okay, guys. So obviously this is an impossible choice to make, and it's stressing me out so heavily. But for 5, I think I'm gonna go with John Keiko. Right? John Keiko, Mr. Perfect. He's not gonna miss a lift. A lot of guys are probably like a lot of these guys are probably gonna miss lifts. So I think John Keiko's gonna hit 9 for 9. But I think obviously that world record is so damn high that he just won't be able to be in proximity for top 3. So I got Keiko at 5. Got Anatoly at 4. Anatoly, like I said, he is a true man of men. He's not gonna come in on some. He's not gonna shy away from any numbers. I think he's gonna come in and have a day, but it's just not gonna be like I said. The proximity to the world record, that percentage just is not in his favor. So he can't get top 3. Number 3, we have Cali, right? So we have Carl Johansson, Joey Flex athlete. Joey's not going to have him miss. They're probably going to have a really good day. Honestly, I think he's going to have a perfect day. I just think that Tim is going to literally beat him just enough. Like last deadlift, I think he's going to have the heavier pull and the heavier squat. If I got to bet against a heavier pull and a heavier squat versus a heavier pull and a heavier bench, I'm going to go with the squat because the squat just has more keys. So I'm going with Tim there. And then number 1 is, of course, my king, Jesus Oliveras. And you guys are going to hate me for not including a 66 Pana, but I genuinely don't see Pana like ever having like a 9 for 9 meet day. I don't know. It just seems so bizarre for me to think that.
Mhm.
And I believe all of these 5 men are going to have a 9 for 9 day. I just think Pana is probably going to miss a lift, and that's probably going to shave off about 10 kilos off of his total, if not
Okay.
more. And same with Kyoto. So that's who I have here is
Mhm.
Keiko, Anatoly, Cali, and Jesus at a crazy battle of deadlift. Everybody pulling in a position, and these 5 gentlemen are the one
Mhm.
that actually nail it and walk away with some money.
I got you. I mean, I'm definitely not going to hate on you for leaving Pana out. It's hard to trust in a guy who all of his squats are going to look RP 10 plus. And his history. I mean, I know he's motivated going in here. I believe in him, but Keiko's a dog. That 900 kilos that we're all trusting in him to hit, you're really the only one who's saying that he's beating Gavin because we didn't even have him in the top 5. I believe he's going to beat Gavin. I believe it'll take 900 to 902, but I just don't think that's enough to get him in my top 5. But just as easily, if Pana misses a lift, boom, Keiko and them are in, and I have exactly your list, basically. But yeah, it's
Yeah,
Jesus or a
no,
75, it looks like.
no. I mean, really, the difference what it breaks down to is, yeah, no, the squat we've seen most recently, heaviest thing from Tim in this prep was 287. And then I look at his open powerlifting, and he hasn't loaded more than 285 as a 74. So I'm just not betting on the 300 plus being there.
I also forgot to mention about Tim Monagatti. Um, so I listened to the podcast with Tim on Sabato sessions, and Tim actually has been preparing for this in like freaky scary ways. Like bro, like wakes up, like trains at 5 a.m. simply because that's like the time he's gonna have to train. Like converted over to like Great Britain time, like obviously like UK time.
Yeah.
So he's already like mapped out the time that he needs to train every day. He's extremely prepared. New Zealand athletes are crazy, dude. I mean, look at Evie last year, right? Brett Gibbs in the past. I think Tim is a force, like he is one of those New Zealand athletes that is going to come in and like just
Yeah.
do his thing, man. I mean, yeah, yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
no,
know.
no, I love it. I got nothing against him.
Yeah, I think he's 100% top two, top three. If he,
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
if
it's
he
just that it's
maybe,
just that 287 that he did have, that he did show. I don't know how much more he's loaded recently that went pretty comfortably at all. Like, even if he's hiding stuff, I just don't see like too much more being like a safe call. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've been,
Honestly,
yeah,
going into this, I thought Shell Buckland made that 800 kilo too high for a 75 to win. But in us filling out the spreadsheet, looking at the lifts, I was very surprised at what Tim and Callie could do. I mean, I didn't think that much weight difference was going to win Sheffield, but I don't know. It's
Yeah,
nice.
no, no. I mean, it looks like if you do right around 1.03 of the world record, looks like you win
Mhm.
Sheffield. So hey,
I don't remember what it was last year. What
and
was it last
if we're gonna
year?
talk
Either
about
you
that,
know?
yeah, I was just about to throw out that stat. Last year with the women, at least only three or only okay, not only, but 8 women last year took a world record total. So they were over 100%. Um, and then this year, 11 women I have projected at being over 100%. I think maybe 10. Um, but and the question, the highest overall like Victor Evie, she was over by 5%.
Yeah.
So she had like 105%. And
but
then as far as the guys go, only 3 men last year were able to break the world record total. And the highest was Jesus Olivares with a 104.3%,
Mhm.
I
So yeah,
think.
based
Um,
on what I put down for the females this year, I have them at 4.2% increase, and the males right at about 3%.
okay. I
So
would put two, yeah, I'd put right under three. I'd put like 2.8 for the men.
yeah.
Um,
Ultimately, it's on both sides. It's execution. No one can afford to miss a single lift, especially a big lift like a deadlift or a squat. And it's going to be whoever can be the most consistent on the day.
for sure, man. But I mean, hey, we put a lot of work into that, but I think that pretty much wraps it up, man.
Yeah. To finish it out, what surprised y'all going into this preview that you like? Avery said it early, something changed his mind. Who surprised you the most to be on the top of your leaderboard or on a leaderboard in general?
actually, I think my biggest surprise was me picking Leah for the win because I didn't know too much about the 69's numbers besides Agatha. Um, so I kind of just like took everybody's word that was talking about Corolla, like Steve, I think it was Angelo and Solana that said that on Two White Lights. They said that Corolla was probably gonna win. And yeah, honestly, look at that. Like, I don't think any of us think Corolla's top five. Uh,
I
so
almost swapped her out for Agatha, but
yeah, but I mean, I have Agatha and Leah like a Tim and Tim and a Callie. Like they're both gonna have a really good day. It's just who could deadlift the most at the end. And I think Leah's probably gonna, with her squat and her deadlift combined. I think. Oh man, I kind of want to go back and change some. I kind of want to change
nope, too late.
Natalie.
They're set in stone. They're set in stone. No
Yeah, I
changing.
might have fucked up there.
We
I
did it
actually might
live.
have fucked
We
up.
did it live.
I should have put Natalie at two. I should have. Yeah, I agree with Eli. His top three: Leah, Nat, and then Agatha. I think Agatha. There might be a space there.
I mean,
But
again,
Well,
to
too late to
preface,
change. Whatever.
the top three, the top five are really interchangeable on who executes. So I mean, you can't hate us for missing that, but I'm confident in my top five people being in the top five on both lists.
I
I
think I
think my
like
men. I'm
mine.
very confident in my men.
I think
You
I
want to
like
put
I'm
some
very
mine.
confident
I
in
think
the
I confirm
men.
my biases.
You want to put some money on it then?
No, I ain't got big pockets like y'all, bro.
Haley
All
just
right,
said no.
bro. All right, bro.
All right, bro.
We can put
All
some
right.
money on it, Eli. I'm cool with it.
We'll see. We'll see. I mean, that's a phenomenal preview for me. How y'all feel? Y'all want to end it there?
Yeah, it's a good one, man.
Yeah. Appreciate Tony for doing all the female
Hey,
research.
well, I wanted to say if anybody listened this far, we got to figure out because this is like our longest one for sure. We got to figure out who listened this far.
So what's some
So
we gotta tell them to comment something?
yeah, like if you, I don't know, if you listened all the way through, comment like on our post because we're gonna obviously make a post about it. I don't know. Comment Avery's predictions suck on our
Yeah,
Instagram.
comment Avery predictions suck, and we'll give you a shout out. If Chris Shaw comments it, we'll have him on the pod. If it doesn't, we'll never have him on the pod.
No, bro, because it's gonna be like three dudes. It's gonna be like three dudes that are all right, man. Wrap this up, bro.
All right, that's it. Phenomenal episode. Hope you guys enjoy it. Go like it and share it. Peace.
You're
Peace out.